Welcome, everyone, to What to Watch Live, the show where we discuss the best in TV and entertainment this week. My name is David, and today I am joined by my fellow Xfinity editors, Audrey, Gordon, and Rose. Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Hello.
Happy Friday.
Happy
Deja vu.
Friday. I know. I feel like we did this
before,
for like 5 minutes and then didn't do it. And so here we are on a special
episode.
Yes. Today is, of course, a special Friday episode, and it's not only special for that reason. Today's show is also dedicated entirely to Peacock. No, not the colorful, allegedly flightless bird. We're talking about NBC Universal's streaming service and its deep library of TV shows, movies, and brand new originals, horror franchise favorites, and our Cant Not Watch editor picks. Before we get started today, we want to turn control of What to Watch Live over to you, the fans on X1 and Flex and Twitter. We're taking a break off next week, but we'll be back for our super scary Halloween show on October 26th. And we want to know which horror movie franchise you want us to watch and talk about in 2 weeks. So use your voice remote. There it is. Use your voice remote throughout the show to vote for either Saw, Friday the 13th, Halloween, or Child's Play, and the Xfinity editors will binge the winning series in time for a blood-soaked deep dive on our next show, which will be our Halloween show. Please, everyone, keep in mind that there are currently 12 movies, now 13 in the Halloween franchise, and 12 in the Friday the 13th franchise. So if you choose those, you are stealing a massive portion of our lives to binge those in time for Halloween. But you know what? Do you? It's up to you.
Does Freddy versus Jason count towards that tally of Friday the 13th?
Unfortunately,
good point.
It
yeah,
should. Add
it does. It does.
14.
Yeah, it does.
Let's find out how committed these editors are. So a vote for Friday the 13th is a vote for David losing a day of his Halloween.
Bring it on.
And you can sleep, you can eat. You don't have to do it all in one sitting. Or should they have to do it all in one sitting? Can we vote on that?
I can see my TV from the kitchen.
Or do it all under the covers.
Yeah.
Also, can we talk about why David thinks peacocks are allegedly flightless?
Yeah.
Do you
They
think
are
they're
allegedly
lying to
flightless.
us? Are they trying to put one over on us?
They can get up enough speed, and then they just kind of flap a little, and then that's it.
We say allegedly like they're trying to.
Do they flap in the air? Because if they get a little
They
air
have
time,
wings, so it's real. They're leading us to believe they can fly, but they can't, like a penguin.
But penguins don't fly either, right? And they have wings.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
If you believe those penguins, which I'm not sure I do.
All right, this is riveting Peacock the bird content, but we have so much to get to. So let's start the show and kick things off, as always, with In the News. Michael Myers is back in the new movie Halloween Kills, which is available on Peacock today, right now, the same day as theaters, at no additional cost to Xfinity customers. And Xfinity Rewards members got a first look at an exclusive Q&A with Jamie Lee Curtis and the filmmakers behind Halloween Kills. And now we're going to take a look at that just for you. Let's roll it.
He breathes. He kills. He breathes. He kills. He breathes. He kills. He dies tonight. And I'm the one to kill it. Happy Halloween, Michael.
We have a social question from the audience. Hey, JLC.
JLC in the house.
In the house, outside of the house. How would you describe Laurie Strode in 3 words, and why do you think people keep coming to see these iconic films?
I think she's brave. I think she's smart. And I think she's protective. Happy Halloween.
Happy
Stay
Halloween.
safe, wear masks.
Oh, that's cool.
Wow.
So cool.
Yeah, that's terrifying.
That's awesome.
We were all just secretly admiring this beautiful porch that Michael Myers was stalking Jamie Lee Curtis from.
I would love to live in that home if a psycho killer visited every October 31st.
Yeah.
I might let it slide and just live there anyway. It seems like it would keep me on
Let
my
it
toes.
slide. No, I'm not.
Just take a break. Take a vacation every Halloween. Just
Yeah.
go to Orlando. I don't know.
Well, Audrey, I know you and me and Gordon and probably Rose is going to give it a try. All going to watch Halloween Kills tonight. Any additional thoughts on this very scary movie?
No, I'm just super excited. Gordon and I were talking about it earlier. We're going to get our popcorn ready. We're going to wait till it gets dark because that's really you just can't watch a scary movie in the sunlight. It's not the same. Or you can watch it in the sunlight and then watch it again in the dark if you want. But really, the darkness is key. And I'm very excited to watch it. I've heard it's very gory. The kill count is high. Fans of the franchise will not be disappointed. So yeah, I'm getting excited for Halloween times.
Yeah, I tell you, Michael
I will be
Myers
watching in
has
the
a
sunlight.
special. There you go. But Michael Myers has a very special place in my heart because I grew up in the '80s, and that's your Freddy, your Jason, your Michael Myers, and your big three. Jason and Freddy never freaked me out. Something about the mask of Michael Myers. Something about Michael Myers has never been funny. Except for when he got beaten up by Busta Rhymes. He has never been funny. Freddy Krueger cracks jokes and Jason Voorhees has had some ridiculous moments, but Michael Myers always means business. So unfortunately, my wife will not deal with any kind of horror film. But fortunately, we have a young child, so she goes to bed early. So once she goes to bed, popcorn's going in the microwave and I am going to be on the couch watching Peacock and Halloween Kills. Cannot wait.
I know people have one interesting thing about Michael Myers is how loyal fans are to the different people who played Michael Myers, whether it was early or middle or the Rob Zombie version. And I know they basically track these guys down at Comic-Cons to collect all the signatures of all the different Halloween or Michael Myers actors on his mask or scripts or whatever. So it's a very loyal fan base. I mean, and why not? Because the franchise has been so awesome.
I guess you wouldn't think that it's a human in a mask, but there is a performance behind it, the way he tilts his head and walks slowly.
Creepy.
Just thinking about it, I have pre-heebie-jeebies. Pre-heebie-jeebies.
Yes, I mean, creepy.
So
That's a
good.
thing. That's
I mean,
absolutely
honestly,
a thing.
it doesn't matter who's underneath there for me. It's just creepy all around. So I will be one of those people who are watching in the daylight, not at night, even still in the daylight, probably underneath the covers. But yeah, all of the performances with Mike Myers, whoever's underneath that mask the mask alone is just one. It's so iconic that, I get creeped out by just looking at it on a shelf.
Guys, what
or
if
in
Mike
the-
Myers was under the mask, really?
I was
Mike
just going to
Myers
say,
is
you
playing
called him
Michael Myers.
Mike Myers. You guys were old friends.
Well, he was probably
My buddy
5
Mike.
in the first movie. But we should not,
Yeah.
the mask finally comes off and he's like, yeah, baby. All right, I apologize for that. Let's change the subject immediately. Jamie Lee Curtis has been doing this for so long. Forget everything I just said. Let's not sleep on Jamie Lee Curtis. She does a fantastic job. She was in the first 2, came back for H2O, and then came back again for Halloween as Laurie Strode. Talk about that, an arc. See how quickly I'm talking to get us off of my Austin Powers impersonation? She just does a fantastic job, and she really seems to be enjoying it again. So I can't wait to see what she brings to the table this time.
And I just want to plug for Rose and the people who are scared to watch in the dark that Kyle Richards of Real Housewives fame also comes back in this movie. So if you're a Housewives fan and a Bravo reality TV fan, there's something for you in Halloween.
Audrey, you just hit me
Something
with a
for-
fun fact. I love that.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Are we doing fun facts? Rose, I got a Michael Myers fun fact. The Michael
There you
Myers
go.
mask.
Give it to me.
because the original was so low budget, the original Michael Myers mask is actually a mask of William Shatner that's painted white.
Shut the front door.
Yeah, look at that. Captain Kirk.
Give me a heart attack.
Haunting your
I
dreams.
literally thought you were going to drop an F-bomb there. It was so close. Like, Rose. Put your finger on the censor button.
It was going to happen
day.
someday. It was going to happen someday. And honestly, my money was on Rose.
Yeah,
My money was on Rose.
Absolutely. So Halloween Kills right now on Peacock. You can say Halloween Kills into your remote right now or after the show, anytime today. Say it, watch it. It's amazing. You can watch the rest of that Q&A we showed you right now as well by saying watch with into your voice remote. And if you want to become a member of Xfinity Rewards for more exclusive opportunities like that Q&A, just say Xfinity Rewards into your voice remote. It's a lot of info. Halloween Kills for the movie, watch with for the Q&A, Xfinity Rewards for exclusive opportunities. It's all good stuff. So check it out.
Worth it.
Enjoy it.
It's all worth it.
All worth it. So it's time to look at some more of Peacock's new upcoming and originals in a segment we call If You Like, Then. If you are a fan of Michael Scott and his shenanigans on The Office, it's a good chance you'll love Leslie Knope and the Workplace Misfits on Parks and Rec. So we thought we'd take a look at some of Peacock's new series and recommend them to you based on shows you might already like. Does that all make sense? I think so. So I'm going to start out. If you are obsessed with outer space, little green men, flying saucers, and the History Channel series Ancient Aliens, then you will probably love the new Peacock series Unidentified with Demi Lovato. Yes, the actor and pop singer Demi Lovato. This series follows Demi as they take a road trip across the country to meet with survivors of alien abductions, interview extraterrestrial experts, and investigate paranormal phenomenon across the country. In one episode, Lovato visits a haunted house where they sing their song Skyscraper to an apparent spirit. While in another episode, they chat with a woman who claims to be the mother of human-alien hybrid babies. Seriously, she's like, they took me, they used me for babies and brought me back to meet the babies. It's a lot.
Sounds
it's
an
a lot.
X-Files episode.
It is. But if you're a believer or even an open-minded skeptic, you will enjoy the show. It's kind of bonkers. Rose, I feel like among all of us, you are the alien believer, if I had to guess.
I like the term open-minded skeptic because I'm more in that
right.
camp. I don't think I'm an alien believer, but I am open-minded skeptic because I said this before. The universe is so big that it's pretty, arrogant of us to think that we're the only one. However, I feel like Demi Lovato and people in that camp may have gone too far, but it doesn't mean I won't listen to them and see what they have to say that happened to them. Totally for it, even if it's to be like, you are really out there. So I'm
shots fired, Demi Lovato. Shots fired.
No, don't you dare put that on me. Don't you dare put that on me. No, I'm an
it's just
open-minded
live to a million
skeptic.
people on Twitter. Don't worry about it.
Well,
I'm an open-minded skeptic.
What's interesting about the show is that Demi goes on this road trip with a skeptic, someone who doesn't believe, as well as their sisters. So you do get both points of view and see how they react to these various stories. It is really interesting. You go from being kind of rolling your eyes to being like, wait a second, this is interesting. So if you enjoy any of that, I think this is for you. Audrey, what do you have teed up for us?
So mine is completely opposite of this, I think. But in the Halloween spirit, if you enjoyed Martha and Snoop's potluck dinner party, where Martha and Snoop, our favorite celebrity oddball duo, come together and cook, then you will enjoy, I think, Peacock's new Snoop and Martha's Very Tasty Halloween. So this is, as you can imagine, there's a bunch of bakers known as scare squads. They get together and make the most over-the-top edible creations to fit whatever theme Martha and Snoop come up with, and then they judge them accordingly. So I don't really know what's not to love. I know Gordon and David both, and Rose probably too, love all these baking competitions. And then just add Snoop and Martha to the mix. Like, you can't really go wrong. So I'm super excited. It comes out October 21st, just in time for Halloween. So that is my pick.
Snoop and Martha are the duo I never thought I needed in my life, and now I can't get enough of them. Whatever casting or behind the scenes decision maker decided to say, let's put these two together, genius, bravo, hats off.
It's like the old Reese's peanut butter commercials where they're like, chocolate and peanut butter, who knew? And it's like, Snoop and Martha.
Yes, you're right. I also just want to call out on this key art here on the right-hand side, like, how amazing does Martha Stewart look? She's 80 years old, guys. She just turned 80.
I know.
80.
She's amazing.
She looks fabulous.
Oh my gosh.
Fabulous. Snoop looks fabulous as well.
I want to interview her and be like, what is your skincare regime? What lotions and potions are you using? I want her entire medicine cabinet shelf and like bathroom shelf of those lotions and potions. I want a list, and I want them all right now.
Do we think Martha?
She would.
Sorry, I was
give you like specific recipes.
That's what I was going to say. Do you think she buys or she makes all of her own skincare stuff?
Oh my God, that's so funny. I think that next year's Peacock holiday special with Martha needs to be called Lotions and Potions, because it is like potions sounds like witchy and scary, and she really like shares all of her secrets.
I love it. I'm down for it. Where do I sign up for that?
I don't know. Let's make it happen.
Like Audrey, this is a fantastic pick.
This is. And you pointed out the key art. I couldn't get over Snoop Dogg dressed up like Batman, but it's like a dog Batman.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's everything about it is fantastic.
It's great.
That's a tall order to top, but Gordon, we're turning it over to you to see what you've got for us.
I cannot top Snoop Dogg in a Batman dog costume. Anywho, you guys kind of went for like topics that are similar. I went with tone that is similar. If you've seen the Netflix show Cobra Kai, you know it takes what is, I hate to say it, a cheesy 80s movie and updates it for this generation. It lets you look at, in narratives, a villain has to think they're right, or it's a bad villain. And John Lawrence of the Cobra Kai, they do a fantastic job of making him a real person and somebody we care about. We still care about Daniel LaRusso, but the worlds of the All Valley Karate Tournament coming back, this show is just fantastic, and I really love it. So we live in a world of reboots, right? And Saved by the Bell, boy, if you go back and watch the original Saved by the Bell, if you're a child of the 80s and 90s like I am, apparently I was a child for 2 decades, it's bad. Like, Saved by the Bell is not good. You might have enjoyed it when you were younger, but go back and watch it now. Zach Morris is a psychopath. He is not a good protagonist. So the people who remade Saved by the Bell appreciated that, and they updated it for this era. It's funny. It nods to the previous installments, but also points out what was kind of weird about them, like Zach's son Mac, also a psychopath, but they point that out. It's really funny. You don't have to be, you don't have to be a teenager who appreciated it. If you like the older series, it's really a great way to get into it. And like I said, as far as reboots go, I feel like this is the way to go. Because I feel like we have a love for what we saw when we were young that doesn't translate to when we're old. And you can all fight me after I say this, but Goonies is a good example. If you never saw Goonies as a kid and you watched it now, you would not like Goonies. So
disagree.
Disagree.
No.
Okay. Through that. But Saved by the Bell does a fantastic job of updating that world for this world, and I'm a huge fan. So have at it.
Yeah, I'll agree with the huge fan. When the first season of the reboot came out, I was like, I don't know. I did love like the original as a kid. Like, I don't know if this is like speaks to me right now, but let me give it a try. My husband and I actually watched the whole first season in like one night. And it is like short, it's quick, it's easy to watch, it's funny, it's like really smart, it's diverse, it's like very current. So we really, really enjoyed it more than we definitely thought we would. So I am also looking forward to season 2.
Yeah, Audrey, I think
Season
your
2.
experience mirrored ours, where we're like, let's just check it out. We don't expect much, and then watch the whole thing. And love it.
Yeah, and season 2 on November 24th, actually. So not much longer to wait for that. And Gordon, I agree with you. I think what this reboots, where it succeeds where others didn't, is that if you watch something like Girl Meets World, personally, I only cared when Topanga and Corey were on the screen. Same thing with the Full House reboot. Like, I really only cared when John Stamos showed up or some of the like other characters were on. Where Saved by the Bell succeeds is that you care about the new characters. They build them, they make them feel lived in. Like they didn't just start when episode 1 started. They're fully formed characters that you were really interested in. And the fact that Mario Lopez or Elizabeth Berkley aren't in every scene doesn't matter. They just add to it when they're there, but you care about these new characters, and that's what I love about it.
Okay. And you agree that Goonies is
a really
trash?
Great point. No,
Goonies
he does not.
trash.
No.
Let's get out of this Goonies trashing and turn it over
I love
to
it.
Rose.
It's
Rose,
not good.
Rose, what do you have for us?
So if you like This Is Us, it's the pull at your heartstrings drama with great storytelling and arcs and different timelines, then you will like Ordinary Joe. So Ordinary Joe sets this guy up where there's a moment in his life where he can make one of 3 decisions. But the cool thing is you get to see all of those decisions play out. So James, and he told me he can call me Jimmy Wolk, is extremely charming in real life and is also extremely charming and plays Ordinary Joe very well. So yes, if you are suffering from This Is Us withdrawals, Ordinary Joe will be your thing.
And that's a good plug for your Hangout episode with Jimmy for Ordinary Joe, which you can watch by saying Xfinity Hangouts into your remote. I also interviewed the Saved by the Bell cast, so you can watch my Hangout with the Saved by the Bell cast by saying Xfinity Hangouts into your remote. But I am excited about Ordinary Joe because I think we have talked about it on a previous episode. We've all had that moment where we make a decision, you look back and think, what would it have been like if I made this different decision? Like, where would my life be right now? It's very relatable.
I can't help but wonder.
Yeah.
No, I 100% can't help but wonder what my life would have been like if I didn't do that Austin Powers impersonation in Act 1. So I get it.
The show really has been downhill since then.
I get it. We were doing so good, and then sorry, guys.
And
then back in the Goonies.
We were heading to a digital Emmy nomination until that, and now Teen Choice Awards, I guess. Next up, I always feel like somebody's watching me, and you will too after checking out these very scary editor's picks. That was a Rockwell reference, by the way. We are smack dab in the middle of Peacocktober, which is a 31-day celebration of no-cost horror movies and terrifying TV shows to liven up your Halloween festivities. And here to tell us more about it is Audrey. Audrey, tell us about Peacocktober.
Sorry, recovering from Gordon's props. So yes, Peacocktober. This calendar actually looks like a calendar, and that is on purpose because it is meant to show you that there are 31 days where you can watch different and amazing things all month long. So think of true crime originals from Peacock, like Toolbox Killer. There are franchises, like we've mentioned, Nightmare on Elm Street, Saw. For the people who like a little bit of scare, but not really. We have the Harry Potter franchise, so every Harry Potter movie, and Gremlins, which I didn't think is that scary, but some people might want to argue that Gremlins is scary. But there's 31 days of things to watch here, guys, and you'll see Halloween Kills is prominently featured because, as we've already discussed, it is going to be amazing. We're all so excited about it. And it's great. So it's a really easy way just to say Peacocktober, or you can say Peacock Calendar. If you're not sure what to watch, and just hop right into any of these. I would just like to plug my favorite in here, which is A Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. And if we roll a clip, we'll talk about it after.
The kids of Elm Street Don't know it yet, but something is coming to get them.
There's something out there, isn't there?
They're gonna kill me for sure.
Did you do it?
There was somebody else there.
He was locked in a room with a girl who went in alive and came out in a rubber bag.
No one knows where it came from or who it will visit next.
Nancy? There's something wrong with you. You're imagining things.
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Do you believe in the boogeyman?
No.
So everyone, I'm sure you're aware, it's an American horror franchise written and directed by Wes Craven. It started in 1984 with the first Nightmare on Elm Street, based on the fictional character Freddy Krueger, who stalks teenagers in their dreams and kills them. So we all know that, but this is like a real fun fact show, guys, because I have some fun facts about Nightmare on Elm Street that as a fan, I didn't even know about some of them. So let me hit you very quickly with these. Freddy Krueger also appeared in the 2011 Mortal Kombat game. And I know David and Gordon are gamers. You guys knew about this? This is new to me.
Yes.
Okay. Next, New Line Cinema was saved from bankruptcy by the success of these films. Heather Langenkamp, who plays Nancy, beat out 200 actresses for the role, including Jennifer Grey, Demi Moore, and Courtney Cox.
Wow.
Because they really wanted somebody who was more unknown. So good for her. And one of the main reasons Johnny Depp was cast as Glenn was because Wes Craven's daughter thought he was dreamy, as did we all.
She's not wrong.
I agree with that. Not wrong. So yes, I will contend that Nightmare on Elm Street is the best horror franchise. Freddy Krueger is both hilarious and slightly terrifying, I guess. I just find him to be more funny than scary, but I know Rose is shaking in her boots over there. So yes. Nightmare on Elm Street, watch them all.
I agree with you that it's one of the most terrifying franchises because first time I watched it, that was the first time I pulled an all-nighter because I was so scared to fall asleep when I was like, I don't know, 10 or 11 years old. I disagree that he's like funny, but maybe if I watch it now, it'd be funny, but I'm like, we'll see.
My favorite thing about Nightmare on Elm Street is that Freddy became almost like an anti-hero as it went on. Is he, because he was cutting quips and being hilarious and all these creative ways of getting rid of teenagers. And then they killed him off and they called it a day. And Wes Craven is like, look, I'm not going to bring Freddy Krueger back ever unless somebody comes to me with a brilliant idea. And somebody did. I don't know if it was him or who, but New Nightmare is the first one that comes after the original series, and it's a return to form. It's probably the scariest of them all. So, like, Nightmare on Elm Street has seen a lot of different iterations, and some of them have been really, really good.
Yeah, and we talked about Halloween Kills and the amazing kills in that movie. I mean, A Nightmare on Elm Street kind of like, in a way, like innovated unique ways to kill off victims in the movie. And I think one of the things I love about that franchise is the use of practical effects, especially in the early movies. Things that you don't see so often now in the days of computer generated effects. But there's, I think in Dream Warriors, there's a kill where someone's like pulled into a TV that's like, hey, like, just some of the ways that they off the teenagers are really, really amazing. And you're like, how did they do that? But it's all puppetry and wires, and it's just really so incredible. So if you want to, like, kids, if you want to go back and see how they did movies back in our day, check out the Friday
if you want to go back. People old enough to watch these, if you want to go back. Maybe not for kids.
No. Should I talk about my pick for Peacocktober?
You should.
Yeah, I'll do that. My pick is the Peacock original series, The Girl in the Woods. Let's take a quick look at that.
Who are you?
You must never tell a soul. Deep in the woods stands a lone door. My colony and all of our practices exist entirely to protect the world from the awful things beyond that door. They worry that the wrong person could learn about this door and let all those awful things go free.
Carrie, what's behind the door?
Nightmares. Your worst nightmares.
So this series is based on the 2018 short film, The Door in the Woods, and the 2020 short film sequel, The Girl in the Woods. And it follows a young woman named Carrie Ecker, who is tasked with guarding a mysterious door within her cult-like colony, which is, of course, deep in the woods. And what is behind the door, and why does it threaten to destroy the entire world? Only Carrie and her friends know and have what it takes to protect humanity from the monsters beyond the threshold. But is Carrie a monster herself? Only one way to find out. When The Girl in the Woods premieres October 21st. I love the whole vibe. It's like Hannah, the Amazon Prime series movie, meets Monsters, basically, where she's like this badass killer who has to protect the world. I'm really excited for it.
I gotta tell you, you guys are doing a good job this episode. Normally, I'm just like, what am I gonna say? How am I gonna shine? But like all of your guys' picks have been like really solid. Like Ordinary Joe, Snoop, this sounds really good. David did a really good job selling it. Kudos, team.
Thank you.
Oh, what a compliment.
I know. I'm
Dang
gonna have to
it,
make
Gordon.
a list. I'm gonna have to make a list.
My publicist really earning his pay today.
You can Venmo me that 20 when you get a chance.
You got it.
How am I going to live up to that? Because it's my turn to go, right?
It is. You're up, Rose. Yeah.
Rose.
Dang it, Gordon. Setting the bar so
Sorry.
high, but I'll try. So I chose One of Us is Lying. Let's take a look and we'll talk about it.
Your obsession with other people's lives is pathetic.
Nobody at the school would get called out for anything if it weren't for me.
Simon?
Detective Wheeler has a couple questions.
Wasn't it an accident?
They think one of us did it.
Without Simon, you get to be valedictorian.
You're accusing me now.
I know that.
I don't know you. We need to work together now.
And why should we trust you?
Everybody here hated him. But who also hated us?
We often have to make our ooh face. Ooh.
So my pick isn't like super scary or super jump scary, but it starts out with some Gossip Girl vibes, and then it takes an I Know What You Did Last Summer, the original, turn. There aren't jump scares, like I said, but it's a high school whodunit where a group of teenagers go into detention, and all of them but one come out alive. And everybody that was in dun dun dun, cue the music. But everyone can be listed as a suspect because everyone has a secret to hide that the person could be, I don't know, accused maybe. I don't know if I'm doing this justice, but Audrey and I were talking about while you guys were watching the clip that she's really into this. Audrey, what are your thoughts?
I am. I watched the first 3 episodes and I agree. It has like some Gossip Girl vibes because, they're in school, they're text messaging. You mentioned this all goes down in detention. So there's like a little dusting a Breakfast Club in there. So all of those things speak to me very much. But it's really good. The characters, it evolves. Like you think you don't really love someone or you think maybe that they did it. And then you are surprised and you end up liking them and you don't think they did it. So I have no idea where this is going. Like I said, I watched the first 3 and I know that there is at least 1 to 3 more available now. But I'm really enjoying it. Like I said, I have no idea who is lying because they're all lying really about everything. So it's hard to tell which one is lying about the important thing.
They do a really good job of keeping you invested in the whodunit. And I should have mentioned earlier, this is also based on a book. And I love things that are based on a book because it's that good that they're going to turn it into a series or a movie.
Now, they're all lying, so that title itself is a lie.
Oh,
yeah.
So maybe
Inception.
We're meant to be a part of the suspect and one of us, and we're the us. We're the one that's lying. Is that what you're saying?
We're the us.
Since this is very similar to since this has Breakfast Club vibes, do you think the person lying will become a serial killer?
Oh no, guys, it was going so well. So well.
I knew Rose would laugh.
So good. Gordon's had it. He's had it. He's
Gordon, come back. You lost.
Now we're gonna get a Blockbuster award, not even Teen Choice. We're moving down the list. Gordon, bring us home with save us.
I felt so bad about the Michael Myers and the Goonies thing. I don't even care. All right. Audrey did a fantastic job with this calendar. I love it. But I have a bone to pick with you because Gremlins is scary. All right? That's my pick. And let's take a look.
Probably the most important thing, don't ever feed him after midnight.
Billy, what are these things?
Gremlins. How come a cute little guy like this can turn into 1,000 ugly monsters? That was Mrs. Deagle.
I'll bet every kid in America would like to have one. They might even replace the dog as the family pet.
I mean, they had me at the beginning because they were so cute.
They are cute. Now, if you're like me, you probably have memories of this. And you're like, oh, Gizmo's cute and it's Christmas and all that. Do not watch this with your children without remembering the scene where Billy's mom gets attacked by the Gremlins in the kitchen. It is legitimately terrifying, okay? So, the reason I picked Gremlins and Gremlins 2: The New Batch is because it's such a weird / fascinating little duo of movies. Because the first one, like I said, it is dark. You have Phoebe Cates and her story about her dad. You have, homicidal gremlins running everywhere. It is dark and creepy and scary, Audrey. And then Gremlins 2: The New Batch is like a comedy almost. It's silly. There's like slapstick humor. There's a gremlin that becomes a lightning bolt. There's a gremlin that becomes a bat. Like, it's just silly and fun. And they even poke fun at the first one. The second movie is almost a parody of the first movie. So if you want something creepy, give Gremlins a shot. If you want something fun and creepy, give Gremlins 2 a shot. Gremlins 2: The New Batch.
Something for everyone.
There's so many amazing characters in the second one. You've got like the intellectual, he has like the gremlin who has like his own like cable access show, I think, if I'm remembering correctly, who's like got the pipe and the glasses. And then there's, of course, Greta Gremlin, who has the big pink scarf and the lipstick. I actually saw someone on Twitter picking a bone with us, the editorial team, for including Gremlins as a Halloween movie, saying that it's a Christmas movie.
It is a Christmas movie.
It is a Christmas movie, but
it can go in both
creepy
camps. I feel this.
I don't disagree with that assessment.
Yeah.
Well, Gremlins is an all-time classic.
We agree with you too. So
it can be two things. It's like Nightmare Before Christmas. It can be both Christmas and Halloween.
There you go.
So,
and Harry Potter, just saying.
We want to remind you to participate in the poll with your voice remote. What horror franchise do you want us to do a deep dive on in 2 weeks when we're back for a Halloween show? Is it Halloween? Is it Saw? Is it Friday the 13th? Or is it Child's Play? Vote now. I actually one time, fun fact, I interviewed the guy who plays the Jigsaw Killer. And his name is escaping my mind right now. But he called me. I can't remember his name. I should not have told this story without remembering his name.
I'll look it up for you. You tell the story, I'll look up his name.
Well, Tobin Bell. I got it. Tobin Bell. So he called me. It was a phone interview. He called me on his phone. And I was like, hello? And he goes, hello, this is Tobin Bell ringing you. Like, it was just so very formal. He was the first person I ever heard use the word bailiwick in a conversation. He's like, these movies weren't in my... He's not, but he's like Fraser Crane, where he's not British, but he seems very like refined and very, I don't know, well-to-do. Like he should be wearing a monocle and an ascot or something. Yeah.
He would use words like dapper and dashing.
Bumper sheet.
Yeah, and actually, The fun thing about Tobin Bell is like, you don't
Kerfuffle.
realize how many things he's been in like over the years. Like he was in an episode of Seinfeld. Like I see him pop up in like old sitcoms, and I'm like,
I have to see his face now.
That's the Jigsaw Killer.
Yeah. Well, before we leave the poll, just a reminder: whatever you choose, David will watch consecutively without sleeping, eating, or using the restroom. So take that into account, because those Friday the 13th movies, that's a good 26, 27 hours. But that's the level of commitment David has to this project. So take that into account when you make your vote.
So it's just David and nobody else, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
No,
That's
not,
Audrey, you guys take your time.
not what I signed
I'll
up
let you
for.
guys, like, I'll let you
Sounds
well
good.
rested. But David, 26 straight hours.
I mean, I'm ready for it. So keep voting. It looks like, what do we even have in the lead? We have Halloween in the lead, of course, all 13 movies. And Friday the 13th is closely behind. Child's Play, 25%. It's so close. It's only, well, that's not only 2 movies. It's so much.
That's a lot.
So
yeah,
keep voting throughout the show. We'll be back a little bit later with more voting. And you can check out the full Peacocktober calendar and watch guide by saying Peacock Calendar into your voice remote. It's 31 days, but catch up. If I'm going to binge all these movies, you can get through 31 days of horror franchise in 16 days. So let's do it together. This has all been pretty good. Great even. I'd even go so far as to say it's been amazing, but it's time to check out the best of. As we've discussed today, there's no shortage of original series, hit movies, and Halloween entertainment on Peacock, but that's not all. As someone who can't resist a good throwback, I love diving into Peacock's library of bingeable classics like The Munsters, Modern Family, Good Times, Father Knows Best, Frasier, Dennis the Menace, Little House on the Prairie, The A-Team, Punky Brewster, Highway to Heaven, Murder, She Wrote, and much more. So in this segment, we've asked the editors to find the best of the best Cant Not Watch series on Peacock. And we will start with me. And 1 year before Roseanne pushed the boundaries of American sitcoms, Fox's Married with Children introduced audiences to television's most dysfunctional family. Ed O'Neill starred as iconic patriarch and lazy shoe salesman Al Bundy, while Katie Sagal played his lazy wife Peggy Bundy, and Christina Applegate and David Faustino portrayed their generally lazy kids, Kelly and Bud Bundy. Married with Children ran for a stunning 11 seasons and 259 episodes from 1987 to 1997. And while often controversial, it is considered one of the most underrated sitcoms of all time. And since it's scary season, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that Peacock has all 7 seasons of Alfred Hitchcock Presents. Often considered one of the best TV shows of all time, this anthology series featured standalone stories of terror, horror, and suspense from the master himself, Alfred Hitchcock. And the series, which was renamed the Alfred Hitchcock Hour in 1965, ran for 268 episodes, but only 18 of those were actually directed by Hitchcock himself. So if you're looking for somewhere to start, check out some of those episodes that Hitchcock directed in season 1, starting with an episode called One More Mile to Go, then try Revenge, and then The Case of Mr. Pelham. They are just as good. I mean, it's Hitchcock, so they're incredible, but all 7 seasons, it's like The Twilight Zone, but better, in my opinion. So well worth adding to your Halloween repertoire. And now, what are we going to turn it to? Audrey, you want to talk about your picks?
Sure. So I know I'm not alone in my, I want to call it obsession with true crime. It's really super popular these days. There are podcasts, there are documentaries, there are docuseries. So these are 2, like, I want to say classics. Dateline obviously goes deep on like current and past true crime stories. And this isn't just one of my favorites because my brother's name is the same as one of the hosts. But it's just a really thorough look at what really goes on and some of the dark things that happen in the world, and done in a way that is interesting, and it interviews people who are involved, and I can't not put this on and turn it off, and it really just keeps me hooked. The same with the first 48. If you're not familiar, the premise here is most crimes, if a person is not found within 48 hours or the crime is not solved, it really, the likelihood diminishes that it will come to a close. So this is a look at the first 48 hours behind the scenes in the police station of how like detectives are piecing things together and what they're doing. And that's just really fascinating to me to see the ins and outs of what actually goes into solving a crime, because I think it's really easy to sit back and watch these and say like, it was the husband, it was the boyfriend, it was this, and have your own ideas. But these are like real people involved in crimes and real detectives working on them. So the first 48 is a really interesting look to me. And I know it's very popular with our users as well.
I will say when they put that clock up and they're counting down how much time there is left, like it adds a different element to the show compared to other true crime where you're like, oh my God, they're nowhere near, they have nothing and they have like 5 hours left. Like it's
so stressful. So stressful. Okay. Who's next?
Gordon. It's Gordon. It's Gordon.
It's Gordon time.
All right. So my picks were, first of all, I love my comedies, and, I have like my new classics, stuff I go back to all the time. The Office, Parks and Rec. And one of the new additions to that of my list is Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I was a little late to the party for this. Got into it about season 4 or 5, but man, I love this show. It's about a police station in New York, obviously. That's, it's the kind of comedy that a lot of comedy is very negative and bad things happen to people, where this is kind of the opposite. You care for these people and root for them. The Jake Peralta and his wife, Amy, like they are me and my wife. My wife is a beautiful genius who's obsessed with keeping things organized. And I am a class clown bad boy with a heart of gold, just like they are. So whenever we watch it and she's obsessed with her keeping her binder in order, and I'm obsessed with spending money on something stupid, we're like, that's us. But yeah, I absolutely can't get enough of this show. To the point where Peacock will do this thing where they're like, dude, are you still watching this? And I'm like, yes, Peacock. I absolutely, don't judge me, Peacock. I'm absolutely still watching this because I can't get enough of it. I do talk to Peacock all the time. And then my other pick was I actually have never seen this show. This is a bucket list show. I have a list of shows that I know are phenomenal, that people I love and trust and respect have recommended over the years. I just haven't had the chance to get to it. Like I said, I could put on Brooklyn Nine-Nine and, mess around on my phone or do some writing or do some drawing. But like, I really want to like focus and like take in these shows that people have been raving about for years. And Friday Night Lights is one of them. I saw the movie. I loved it. I hear the TV show is even better. So once I finally lock down and watch it, I'm sure I'll love it. So that's my second pick. Another bucket list pick is Friday Night Lights.
Gordon, I want to make sure you know that since Andy Samberg is in Brooklyn Nine-Nine and you also love baking shows, that he has a show coming to Peacock for the holidays called Baking It.
Explain. I'm in.
He's going to be one of the judges.
If I win the lottery, you are never going to see me again except on the Food Network, because I'm going to go to sugar pulling school and learn how to do sugar pulling, and then I'm going to be on the Holiday Baking Championship, and I'm going to win. So you'll be talking about me.
Get ready.
Like, watch Gordon and Andy Samberg on Peacock, baking.
Pulling sugar.
Stuff.
Yeah,
bacon.
You heard it here first. He's pointing to the
I will miss
stands,
you
guys.
Pointing to the baking
Right.
It's been nice
championship.
knowing you.
Call the shot. You guys
Rose,
can test all the sugar I pull that's bad.
Sign me up.
Rose, what are your Cant Not Watch picks?
All right. Folks at home, folks at Twitter, if you have watched it, this is your pick to rewatch it. If you haven't, here is my plea for all of these two Can't Not Watch shows. One is The Office, okay? It's amazing. One of the best sitcoms or comedies series that's out today, and here's why. Because the characters are relatable. They're not perfect. The writing is amazing because it takes relatable situations and like just heightens it a bit and sometimes pokes fun at themselves. The writing is just so good. And then the actors' performances are amazing, okay? Because, I mean, with the casting, the writing, the performances, everything. I mean, Steve Carell, so good. Rewatching this is also so much fun because I also have a companion series that I listen to called the Office Ladies podcast, where they give you like all these behind the scenes stuff. So going back and rewatching it just makes it that much better. There's very few shows that literally make me LOL. And I laugh out loud when I'm watching this show because it's so funny. If you haven't watched and there's one episode that you're like, Rose, what's a starter episode, a gateway? It would be the holiday episode, like the first Christmas episode. I think it's in season 2. When I saw that, I mean, it was so relatable and so funny and just so good. I don't know how many so's that I can tell you to convince you, but this for me is my Cant Not Watch. My second pick, I'm going to demonstrate for you why you should watch or rewatch, okay? And here it goes. Number 1. Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. All right. You know that sound, right? All right. Keep that in mind. Here's the next one. Here's the next little sound clip that people in the universe might also relate to. Clothes. Treat yourself. Massages. Treat yourself. Fine leather goods. Treat yourself. It's the best day of the year. It's the best day of the year. Now, I know some of you, or maybe all of you, have heard these amazing sound bites. And if you don't know where they originated from Parks and Rec. And if you love them so much, just think about how amazing Parks and Rec, the actual show, is. So those are my 2. Can't Not Watch. Hope you enjoy them or re-enjoy them. And that's my pitch. All available on Peacock. Okay. That's it.
Rose, I know you already had those emoji things printed out, and I want to know what the previous use of those emoji boards were for, because you didn't make it just for this.
I did. I mean,
no, did you really?
Lies.
Is that the only emoji? Do you have others?
This is the only emoji that I printed out just for this, just for you, everyone watching.
She warned us.
And you're like, why would I be the one who drops the F-bomb? I wonder why. It's literally that emoji. It's also worth plugging that Peacock has the Office Superfan Collection, which are extended episodes of, I think so far there's at least the first and third season, but multiple seasons, every episode extended with deleted, never before scenes. If you're like one of the people who love to like dig that up on YouTube or find them on like the DVDs, they've all been reinserted into the episodes. So it's really interesting to get like more Office. If you got to the end of the series and you're like, oh, I wish there was more Office, there is. Like there's stuff you've never seen before. So
here's another so for you. There's so many more ways to watch when you're on Peacock. You can watch the Superfan episodes. You can watch it by character. You can watch it by, I think, Sane. You can also watch it by, I mean, there's so many ways. Peacock, you really got the Superfan Office, like the Office Superfan, really good. You did us really good here. Just saying. Thank you so much. Okay.
Is there an Andy Bernard tile? Because I would imagine it's the least clicked on because Andy Bernard is the absolute worst.
Oh man!
No, Andy Bernard is terrible.
Oh,
no.
Blasphemy! I love him. I love
all
now
I'm just gonna move,
Eric.
I'm gonna move on, and now you don't get to debate it. I could just move this on, and you don't get to debate why Andy Bernard is great. I can just end it right now. All right. Before we go, we're going to help you arrange your weekend TV watch list with Plan Ahead.
Plan Ahead.
What should you watch this weekend? Well, we've curated the best of this week's premieres to help you plan your weekend TV watch list, and we've conveniently split those premieres into scary and not so scary new shows to satisfy both horror fans and those of you who are hiding under the bed until November. And we will kick things off with the return of Carly and Christian, Michael Keaton, and L to the OG Logan Roy in Gordon's Not So Scary premieres. Gordon, take it away.
Thanks, David. All right, now I know these are the non-scary premieres, but this first one is absolutely horrifying. It's called Dope Sick. It started on Hulu this past Tuesday. Michael Keaton stars in it. It's a look at America and the opioid crisis. It is very scary stuff. That same night, season 2 of 20s kicked off on BET. Hattie, Nia, and Marie are back and having funny yet touching and relatable adventures around their careers and social lives. Season 1 was absolutely fantastic, so I'm very excited to see what they have in store for us next. If fashion is your passion, then I've got some good news for you, because Project Runway returned last night for its 19th season. We got some new faces, we have some familiar faces, and it should be a ton of fun. This Sunday, the Starz crime drama Hightown will begin its sophomore season at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. This show might have slipped under your radar, but it is definitely worth a look. Actually, you have some time between now and then to binge season 1 before Sunday's big return. And finally, everyone in the office is absolutely giddy because this Sunday, Succession is back on HBO for season 3. It's going to start up at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. The family you love to hate to love is back, and they are ready to backstab and honestly front stab. They don't care. Either way, I cannot wait. All right, David, back to you.
I can't wait for Succession.
And
so
in this week's scary premieres, we've got the world's most famous killer doll, smoldering creepster Penn Badgley, and yes, another show about zombies. Rose, tell us about this week's terrifying TV premieres.
For those of you who get a rush of adrenaline from watching anything scary, here are your October premieres. The Child's Play film franchise heads to the small screen with Chucky. This coming-of-rage story starts when people in an idyllic American town start turning up murdered. Find out what happens and dive into the stab-happy doll's origin story in Chucky, available now on Sci-Fi. USA Network's critically acclaimed series, The Sinner, finds Harry Ambrose back in his hometown in rural New York to assess an unsettling crime of parents murdered by their 11-year-old son. You can watch The Sinner's thrilling 4th season now on USA. Are you convinced serial killer Joe Goldberg has changed his murdering ways? Is love the answer for Joe? Or is it just one more reason to kill? Find out on the 3rd season of You. Zombies, zombies, and more zombies! Day of the Dead is a new series that follows a group of people trying to stay alive during the first 24 hours of a zombie apocalypse. This TV series, inspired by the Godfather of the undead genre, premieres on Sci-Fi today, October 15th. There you have it. I hope all of you are scared out of your minds and don't ever fall asleep.
Oh.
Right. Terrifying.
Yeah, we were having a side conversation about aluminum siding, but we're back.
So, for one last time, pick up that voice remote, check out our poll. What should we binge watch before we get back on October 26th for our Halloween show? Not only me, everyone is going to watch an entire franchise, and you get to pick which one. Halloween, Saw, Friday the 13th, or Child's Play. Everyone is going to watch. Not even the people who are on next week's show. All the editors are all going to watch it.
Okay.
Why not?
Buckle up, everyone. I like it.
And David had said, not only will he watch every episode consecutively without sleeping, eating, or drinking, he will also watch every episode of Married with Children, all 47 seasons. That's what he said. So that's the level of
so
the level of commitment that guy has is super impressive. So kudos to you, David.
Passionate.
Hats off, David.
Yeah.
You're an inspiration to all of us, David.
I suffer for my art. What can I say? It's still Halloween. Halloween is in the lead. 13 movies. It's going to be great. You know, maybe I'll go in reverse order, and I'm going to start with Halloween Kills tonight by saying Halloween Kills into your voice remote, and then go back, or just in reverse order. Who knows?
It's like Michael Myers gets healthier and healthier as you watch it.
Yes.
Like a Benjamin
Jamie
Button
Lee
type
Curtis.
situation.
Yeah.
You took it right out of my mouth. Yes, exactly. All right. Well, that is, I think, the final word. It is Halloween in 2 weeks. Our Halloween show. It just makes sense. So tune in. That's going to do it for this week's episode. Of course, huge thank you to my fellow Xfinity editors, Gordon, Rose, and Audrey for joining me today. As I've been saying, reminder, we are taking off next week, but we will be back on Tuesday, October 26th, 4 p.m. Eastern, where I will be half asleep on my laptop from staying up and watching all 13 Halloween movies. We'll also be joined by the Mistress of the Dark, Elvira, which is kind of amazing. So big show. Tune in. In the meantime, if you want to check out the TV shows and movies we talked about today, get more of our entertainment recommendations, or watch us interview even more big celebrities, just say what to watch into your voice remote. My name is David, and thank you for joining us on What to Watch Live.
Bye. Yeah.